Right, who's getting looked at today? Is it going to be Quentin? Nope. Volvo? Nope. Rover? Nope. Mercedes? Nope. We've got something in the footwell of the Alfa that's been meaning I've got to go and sort it out for a long time. I can't see through the reflections. Hang on. There we go. Magneti Marelli. That means there's something exciting. And not fixing the remote central locking. I'm going to finally sort out the thermostat and maybe even fit a radio cage that doesn't fall out of the car. Let's see how we go this morning. So here we have a Magneti Marelli for Alfa Romeo Fiat Lancia thermostat. Now if you recall, a few weeks back I ordered one which looked virtually identical to this, but instead of this little L-shaped elbow on the bottom, it had a T-piece instead, which meant it was for a different version of the same engine, because they changed it ever so slightly for who knows what reason. Right, let's get in there and change it. Now, I'm not sure how well this is coming out on the camera, but this car is actually very well polished and ceramic coated, but we've had sandy rain, sandy dust storms blowing in from I don't know where over the last week, and everything is now extra dusty. It's thick with just sand, basically, not helped by one of the neighbourhood cats which likes to poop underneath the corner of the Rover convertible, Quentin, and then walk over the roof of this one, which I really have got to get on with building that carport. Now, since Quentin has been in sort of sporadic occasional use this week, I moved the new charger over to this car, because this one, every time I go to it, it tells me that it's got a flat battery, and it tells me by not starting. That's its clever way of doing so. Now this says OK, with a little green telltale thing in there, green with a little red circle on the outside, which I think is actually the wrong way around. And this is actually saying battery alert, so I suspect we've got a fault with this battery, which is, I don't know how old it is. Let's see if I can find a receipt for it. So I might be buying a new battery for the Alfa before too long, or imminently in fact. Maybe once it's back in use it'll be okay for another couple of months. Right, let's get on with the thermostat. Now, something I always like to do before I embark on a new task or a new challenge on a car, which I haven't done before, is to check the manual. Now, some of these older cars and rarer cars, it's incredibly difficult to find a decent service book or any service book for them at all, which is why I was so happy when I found eManual online. They have got a massive library of manuals for all kinds of obscure cars. They even have one for the Alfa 145, which is something you cannot buy off the shelf at all. These are full workshop manuals with everything you could possibly need detailed throughout the car. Check the link in the description below and see if you can find one for your car. And luckily it does cover how to take a thermostat off one of these. Right, so this is a pretty easy thing to replace. Mostly these hose clamps have been replaced with Jubilee clip style ones with just a nice easy screwdriver. Unfortunately, I do have a set of hose clamps coming, but they're not going to arrive till tomorrow. Now, interestingly, there is a sensor here I need to unplug in a second, but there's a second sensor with no wires going to it. I wonder what they go to, because there's also another sensor up here with no wires going to it. I do need to take this car to my friend Jamie's Alfa Romeo workshop, where he will be able to look at that and go, oh yeah, that's missing such and such. It may be totally unimportant, it may be something I never need to worry about, or it might be utterly vital, so it'll be good to find out. Now, of course, this first thing I need to go undo is this plug here, which has got the electrical connector into it. And naturally, that's a 20mm head on that. My biggest spanner is a 19 before I get to giant sizes, so I thought I'd just find that. 13/16 is about 20mm, so luckily that does fit. Let's not put things big enough to arc across there on top of there. That would be a fail. Now, how do you undo this electrical contact? Great thing about a plug that's located in a rotating bolt is that you can turn it around to find the back side of it, so you can actually undo the thing, because I wouldn't be able to get a screwdriver in there otherwise. Let's undo this while it's in the car, because that'll be easier and also give me more access to the bolts holding this to the car. You can see the thermostat's been changed before because someone's not used the correct gasket. They've used, what do you call it, instant silicon goop stuff. Oh god, that's coolant running out already. Excellent. That's come out quite fast actually. Also, it looks a bit rusty, a bit grubby. I think it might be a good opportunity for a full coolant flush. Right, that's the easy one. Let's have a look at trying to do the hose clamp without hose clamp pliers. No, I've tried a couple of pairs of pliers, it's not going to happen, but I've got a workaround. Someone has put a Jubilee clip just slightly up from there, so what I can do, under the Jubilee clip, take off the little short length of rubber hose with it. I did for a minute think I was completely scuppered because I've not got a stubby flathead screwdriver, but I've got one actually on order that's again going to arrive tomorrow, because that's the only thing I could think of that would reach this lower circlip. Then I remembered I've got this thing here which will just about reach it. There are a lot of hoses off this thermostat. There are many directions of water travel. I did watch with a certain amount of envy when Hubnut did his Primera thermostat the other day and didn't have to take his entire interior out to reach it. Mind you, I've got to do the same thing on the convertible Quentin, and I'm going to have the same thing as he had with that, because you can just open the glove box and reach behind it to do that one. Oh, that one I'll do last because that's going to be messy. Oh no, I can get a thing on it. Oh, I think I need a socket on that, and that will mean removing this bottom hose, because that hose is in the way. And I was trying to avoid doing the hoses until the very last minute because everything's going to get very wet when I do that. Alright, this bottom one is going to make a mess when it comes off, except it's not moving at all. It's rock solid on there. God, I need a screwdriver to lever it. So we can't get a screwdriver in there to lever it. So I now have the quandary. I can't take the thermostat off until I've undone the lower pipe, which you can't even see from the camera, but I can't take the lower pipe off until I've taken the bolt out to remove the body of that from the engine of the car. Isn't that good? The pipe I'm trying to disconnect is this one just here, which is very hard to see and reach. Right, I need to get a bit more access, so the battery is coming out. Whoops. So I can actually get the a screwdriver or something on to lever it, because it's not moving at all. Come on, there we go, broken the seal. There we go. Finally, this is going to be everywhere. Oh, not too bad. I thought it would be a lot worse than that. Oh no, it is coming out everywhere. Just coming out from the other end. Now the problem I'm thinking is that I don't want to be refilling this with nice fresh coolant, because I'm going to have a cam belt and water pump done in the very near future. I should have done this on the same day. I don't know what, I wasn't thinking this through. And that means draining the cooling system again. Right, now the big gushy one, anyone that's actually easy to undo. Oh, it didn't actually gush very much at all. So I'm glad I'm letting some of this drain out, because I'm not at all happy with the colour of this coolant. I thought that one was going to make a major mess, but that one's hardly made any dribbles whatsoever. I apologise if you're watching this and you've just had a large drink of something, because you will definitely want a toilet halfway through this video if you haven't already been before you started watching. And to keep it safe, I'll put this sensor straight into here so it won't get lost or broken or damaged. Oh, you can have a good look at the inside of the thermostat here if you want. This is what opens and closes inside the engine to get the fluid flowing through the radiator to cool the engine when it gets hot, or open all the time so the engine never gets hot, which is the problem I've got right here. Now, can I actually reach a socket? Oh no, I still can't. I can get a socket on the top one. Let's try and crack this one off. Got this tight. Oh, blimey, that's really tight. Oh no. Blimey, oh there we go, phew. Thought I was going to have to get extra tools for a second then. I can't even reach this one. No, that's annoying. Perfectly placed battery tray just there, which that needs to come out and being painted. I think the job for the summertime is going to be take out the battery tray, this coolant tank, this airbox, sand down and repaint all the stuff around these chassis legs, make the whole thing look a lot nicer. Well, I've got a long reach 13, so look. Yes, yeah, long reach one just about gets in there. Now, can actually turn the thing. Oh no, it's slipping. That feels like it's not a 13, it's like a different size socket. Nah, it's not the bolt that's weird. This deep reach 13 is cracked. I need to go and get a new deep 13. That's not helpful. Right, so my only option really is to get a flexi one and hope I can get enough torque on it. And also, that it's long enough to actually step away from the body of the thermostat. There we go. Oh yeah, that does work. Let's hope it's not going to shatter like the last one of these I used. Handful of coolant, lovely. There we go, perfect. And we're off. I was worried for a minute I was going to have to wind up taking the battery tray out. I was debating in my head, what's quicker, go down the road and buy a new tool or take the battery tray out of the car. I thought I might have to fight this thing off the body of the car, but it's not, it just fell off then. There we go. Luckily I've got a catch tray down there, but mostly it's missed it, of course. Right, that's the old dead one. Did a scrap run 2 days ago, already got more for the scrap pile. The scrap pile that never ends. Clean this up because someone has used goopy stuff, silicone stuff, rather than a proper gasket last time this was done. It didn't leak though, I'll give them that. It did stay watertight. So now I can seat the correct gasket in there. And normally I get most of my parts, or pretty much all my parts, from a local parts supplier. They mainly do trade stuff, to be honest, and they're really good. But they could not find this exact one. This is kind of a weird car. I can see why someone didn't bother using this. It's a pain. Then there's an Alfa Romeo specialist supplier I found this part from. This, a bit like the Volvo, is kind of, sometimes you have to go to the specialist for weird bits. There, that's seated okay. Right, now no one breathe for a second. It's all aluminium, so I'm kind of cautious about misthreading this, but trying to work quickly so that O-ring doesn't jump out of its groove again. There we go, should be right now, that's buttoned in there. I wonder if this is going to leak, and that's why it was all siliconed up before, because it did come from a chain of Alfa specialists. But the engine was built, I think it was AYLESFORD Motorsport who built the engine in this, and they are one of the best Alfa companies in the world, basically. This is kind of why I bought the car. This was AYLESFORD, I'm going to double check I'm saying this right, AYLESFORD Motorsport's courtesy car for a few years, and they spent £7,000 on this engine, which is a lot of money for a £2,000 car. Oh great, even this one is ever so slightly different, so I can't get a socket onto that bottom bolt. It's spanner only, too tight to get a ratcheting spanner on as well. I wish I got some shorty spanners. I have to go and buy some, I think. Just found the smaller size, the 3/8 sockets will actually fit around that with a what do you call it, a universal jointy hingy one, not putting quite so much torque through it on the way on as it was on the way off, because it's not welded on there. I don't need such a big socket, fortunately. Right, let's put some stuff back on. Start this bottom one, which was the hardest to do. Then we're going for this medium-sized pipe at the back. That came off remarkably easily. Okay, that bangs into that. So accessible. And by so accessible I mean so awkward. And finally the big one. That's everything, that seems too quick. Oh, that's okay. We do have a slight weirdness. There's a little notch in this pipe, which is meant to go around this plastic lug here. But if I turn it to do that, it kinks the pipe, which is no good, obviously. So I'm going to have it just slightly not quite right. Let's hope that doesn't leak. Now, giant spanner. This is the 13/16, which it turns out is about the same as 20mm. I did put a steel rule on that just to double check that, because I could see 19 was 1mm below. Pop that in there. That clicks in place. Now, where's the other bit of pipe? Now, I can't believe this is actually how the factory did it. They did a short length of pipe, clipped it on there to connect it onto a narrower bit of pipe. That's got a correct end on it, and this has got a really neat end on it, so I guess it is factory. That's just very Alfa Romeo. So I can go in with a pair of mold grips and try and, ouch, release this one. Oh, it's be so much easier with the correct pliers. Do you know what, I'm going to use a tiny circlip on that. Not circlip, hose clamp. There you go, much easier with just an ordinary new hose clamp. But so I have got some proper hose clamp pliers coming in the morning. I don't know why I didn't wait for this job, as the car's not going anywhere for a few days. Now here's an Ed China top tip. When you're fitting hose clamps, always make sure you look at which way you're putting them on to the hose, because one way is going to be really hard to get a spanner or a screwdriver on it, the other way is going to be much easier. So always try and line them up the easy way. And do you know what I've just done? I've just been tidy and put my little ratchet wrench back in the garage, and I still need it. Lovely, so there we have one new thermostat fitted on the Alfa 145. Now to go and see if I've actually got any coolant that will go in this car, or if I'm going to have to go and buy some. Yep, I do also need to put the battery back in, obviously. Ow, that's sharp, whatever that was. This is a weird bracket. It's a strap that goes over the top, and a little 13mm nut down there. That was really sharp, whatever the hell that was. Oh, I took my gloves off, and the socket ratchet thingy wrench is covered in antifreeze. So I have nice clean hands then. No, I don't. Well, I actually didn't lose that much coolant, so I've just given it a minor top up of the whatever this type is called. Right, let's see if this thing starts, and it'll circulate the coolant a bit, and see if the thermostat kicks in. That'll be a no then. I think the battery is utterly toast. As we saw before, the charger was just showing an alert. It wasn't even showing a charge. One more try using the capacitor charger. Yes, the capacitor charger worked. The capacitor charger breathed enough of a jolt into it. What's this thing? The auto wit. I thought it was leaking exhaust, but it's not. It's just the coolant on the exhaust pipe was burning off instantly. We've got water circulating. Need this thing to get warm enough for it to actually open the thermostat, make sure that's actually going to work. Do love the sound of this engine. Well, the good news is it's not leaking. I have found the old O-ring, I think, that used to be in that thermostat. Now, this isn't a true test of how good the thermostat's working, because it always would get warm when the car was stationary. It's just when you start moving the car and the air blows through the radiator, the engine gets deathly cold. It was been anyway before. So can't test it today because it's the 28th of February and I'm not going to tax it on the last day of the month, so I can't take it down the road to test it just yet. But I'm getting a bit of warm air blowing out the heaters. It's starting to get a bit warmer now actually, because the heater was absolutely awful. I was sort of driving around in gloves and a scarf before, just trying to keep the ice off the inside of the windscreen. I love the sound of this engine. Yeah, as if there wasn't enough of a hint that the battery's no good in this car. That's in the passenger footwell. Well, it's been running for half an hour now. The temperature has not overheated, so I think we're all good. Just put this car battery back on charge immediately after turning the engine off, and for a second it showed 15 volts, then dropped to 14, 13, 12. It's now settled on 11.8, and considering the car is running for a good 30 minutes, 11.7, that should be showing like 13 or so really. Nah, this battery is knackered. I wish I'd had this charger a lot longer ago, then perhaps I wouldn't be able to changing the batteries quite so frequently. One more thing to do on the car right now. Now there's a fun thing on the way. Every now and then the Mercedes 123 tyre goes down at the front, and what it's done this time is, as it's gone down, it has squished out and gone onto its car cover, so I can't get the car cover off, which is going to make getting into the car interesting later. Anyway, if you remember, when I got this car back from a massive weldathon, I had brand new, very hard to find reflectors fitted in the bumper, which I was really happy to find. I got them in from Italy, brand new. Took it to the supermarket at night, and someone reversed into the car, smashed them, or smashed one of them. So it's going to quickly pull these out, because a very kind viewer sent me a second-hand one the other day for the latest junk in the trunk bit. So I'm going to quickly fit this. Yeah, also, we still can't get to the tip without doing an appointment, and appointments are hard to come by, so I'm just collecting more and more used engine oil. So this very kind donation to the channel, my mind's gone blank on the name of the person who sent this in. I looked it up like 2 seconds ago and I've forgotten already. It's not quite as shiny as the brand new sparkly perfect one was, but that's got a chunk out of it, so I'm obviously not going to use that one. Looking at the back of this, it hinges in like that, so I guess I need to put some pressure in that direction to unmark this newly painted bumper, because this was only painted, well, last year. I reckon if I put a screw into that, I can then pull it. There we go, removed. And this one should just clip straight in, hinging in like that. Fitted. At least that's no longer cracked. I'm still massively annoyed. Someone said on the live chat the other day, what makes furious driving actually furious? That does. People not caring about other people's stuff. You try hard to look after things and so-and-so smacks it up in a car park. Anyway, that's better now. Fully reflective, no longer broken. And even though I used a catch can to catch all the antifreeze, I bit digger on the floor, so I'm getting a hose down to dilute it. Because even though I'm really not happy with the local cats crapping everywhere and walking over the roof, leaving paw prints in the paint, I don't want to kill them. Not on camera anyway. Right, we are, well, kind of done now for this morning. I was going to start delving into this whole radio area. So I've got a double-din metal cage for it somewhere, which would make it far more practical, nice. Like somehow, I don't know, don't want to get into a whole other kettle of fish, because the radio antenna isn't very good, which means I'd have to start stripping away the A-post trim, the headlining to get to the antenna, which is above this clock. No, it's just another whole game of things. As it is, this kind of just sits there and rests there, floating in the edge, wedged in this little cubby hole, which is kind of useful. It makes it look vaguely presentable. I'm actually thinking of putting in like one of those really small, not a CD player, DAB, Wi-Fi, everything on it, Bluetoothy, just a full doubled-in screen, because that takes no weight in it at all, and it wouldn't matter about the lack of support behind it. That might be the way to go forward, and also give me a lot more, you know, making the car better. I need to do the hi-fi, the audio on basically all of my cars need massive upgrades really. If you like car audio stuff, stay tuned, because maybe in 2021 I'll get around to doing a bunch of car audio on all of these cars, do some discrete upgrades in some cars that you can't see them in, replacing factory stuff, replacing wires. Well, the Volvo certainly is going to have a bunch of that done to it, and this one definitely needs something sorting out, because I'm getting fed up of no radio working in half my cars. One more thing before I go. Hats! We've now completely sold out of the yellow hats. They've all gone, which I'm relieved, amazed, happy about. I hope everyone who's got them is happy with them as well. I'm wearing mine all the time when I'm going out. I've also got a grey one for different occasions, so depending, I'm colour coordinating the things now. I've still got the grey ones in stock, I've still got these black ones in stock, but I'm going to do another order of yellows tomorrow. So if you would like a yellow one, if you put your order in now, there'll be a slight delay while I'm waiting for them to be made, basically made in a batch, and then it'll take a week or two for them to actually arrive with me. Something I'm going to try this time as well is blue ones, so I'm going to get some more yellow ones and a sample set of blue ones. So if you like another yellow one, sorry, so if you like a yellow one, or you'd like to try a blue one, then hit me an email, shop@furiousdriving, email in the description below, and let me know what you think. If a lot of people say, yes, I want a blue one, then I'll have to increase the order, and that'll give me the opportunity to make sure everyone who wants one gets one. So everyone who is I think everyone who's getting them is happy with them. I've had some good feedback, so I'm pleased, and I know that I've got one. Mrs. Furious has got a yellow one, she likes it. And yeah, so all good so far. One more thing, I'm trying to get this channel to hit 50,000 subscribers by Easter. We've got just a few weeks to try and hit that number. It's a big challenge because, you know, it's a lot of numbers to make, but I'm hoping we can do that. So if you like this channel and you haven't hit subscribe already, then do please hit subscribe. If you know someone who you think might like it, or in a car club on Facebook or something and you think they might like the videos, then please post a link online. Please tell a friend, email a link to a friend, because I'm really trying to make this channel grow a lot in 2021. So yeah, if we can hit 50,000 in the next month or two, that would be absolutely astonishing. So yeah, thank you if you can do that, that'd be awesome. So as usual, YouTube stuff, like, share, subscribe, yada yada, I just said it anyway. Join me again next time in a couple of days' time when I'll be back on Quentin the Convertible, where more stuff is still happening on. That card's the gift that keeps on giving, isn't it? Right, thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon.